really done it, and your passion to help people step into that just radiate. Love you, Anne.
I love you too. Natalia.
I just want to share my takeaway. I mean, I really like your dating system because it feels like you are you're creating the dating system, you're becoming a guide or a transformer to your clients, right? In terms of where they want to be. So they're here now, and the DNA system that you're building, you will be guiding your client to that future of where or who they be. And I think that to me, that was very powerful.
Thank you. Yes.
Please welcome, have a go.
Hey folks, how's it going? Emily here, making progress, and also learn all this awesome stuff that Anna was sharing with us because I can see that this is the future. I'm super excited to give everybody a shout out because I'm just so inspired by all the awesome work transformation and seeing everybody doing and how amazing, you know, what Anna and Patrick have done and what they created and how awesome that workshop was. I think it's the customer grind mode into this amazing future that Anna has. So just a shout out to the guys. Keep up the great work, and I'm super excited to be here and probably.
Thank Ann and Patrick, first of all, for trusting me. Yeah, and what I love about you, Ann, is you are a trusting person. And look, I've been in business, my wife and I have been in business for over 30 years, and we can spell stuff in 14 different languages. But we choose to trust anyone. You ever heard of a guy named Bob Goff? He said, love always. And this is what these two people do. Ann and Patrick, they love always. They are the hands and feet of Jesus. And I love what you guys are showing up and what you guys done here, brought these people together, is just so impressive. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you. Last night was so good. It was the first time in probably 30 years I didn't have to buy dinner.
All right, say hello. Hello. Mastering media. Say
Resonated with me when you said, I could do it all, but like, should I do it all?
No.
And so that was like resonating with me because I'm like, you've been coaching me on this for years to like,
I have.
charge more and all that stuff. I'm having little breakthroughs, little by little. So it's encouraging what she said. It's like, well, you could be on the next level. It's like, okay, good. I'm here, I'm getting there. I'm charging more.
These breakthroughs are like compound interest. Right? All of a sudden you wake up and you're like, well, the breakthrough didn't feel very big, but all of a sudden you've made a quantum leap in your business and in how you approach it. So I'm glad that spoke to you.
So you're the one that encouraged me. You're like, do you have any high ticket offers? This was like several months ago. And I was like, and you're like, what's the biggest thing that you charge? And I was like, oh like $99 at the time, whatever it was. And so I did, and I didn't really know what to offer, so I did a yearly membership for my card club. And it was around like Black Friday time, and it was $444 for a year, which is exciting for my card club. I'm getting there, but even that was like so scary. I'm like, nobody's gonna want to pay this. And they did.
Hi there, my name is Judy Kaler, and I would love to share with you the breakthrough that I got from the airlines with Anne and Patrick McDonald. And it's very simple, but it has been so profound to me. Major breakthrough for me. So I encourage you to take the challenge with Anne and Patrick McDonald. It is well worth your time.
It's been something that I feel like I can go back and actually implement now.
I feel equipped to take on the big goal, the big audacious goal that I didn't perhaps believe before that I could achieve. It was incredible to connect with so many powerful women, be able to take new ventures through Anne's guidance. Worth 10 minutes the cost.
I could literally go home tonight and I know exactly what I need to do to make this big.
Kevin, go for a win.
Are you recording?
I am recording. Do I need to not record?
No, you need to be recording. You need to be recording, Ann.
Oh,
I have got my first junior golfer and paid in full to Collegiate Golf Consulting. They are so grateful, and so I'm officially on the board.
I just wanted to share that about my experience working with Anne and Patrick in their mastermind, that it has just been life changing. It's increased my capacity. It's helped me clarify my goals and help me clarify what I'm going to bring to the online market, and just what they bring to the table, all the wisdom and experience and knowledge that they have. They bring so much that it's I don't want to say it's overwhelming because it's not. They help us go in the direction we need to go and to multiply what we're doing. And they bring support and challenge, and they have they put this team together to help us get every single thing done that we need to do. And they always say as much as it depends on them, and they bring it. And I am so thankful. And I can't imagine doing this without them. I couldn't ask for better mentors and better, mastermind leaders for these, for what I'm doing. And so I just want to share that and encourage anybody who gets a chance to work with Anne or Patrick or both of them. Don't miss out, because there's so much that you don't know. And I am just forever grateful.
You have to earn your own self-respect. How do you do that? By doing the work, by being found faithful, by not expecting everything just to happen and just come to you. But part of how you see yourself to be comes through, I'm looking at Anne and Patrick McDonald, right? They've been working, they've been going for it. They just did a live event, right? And it's like, I can assure you, if we unmute them right now, they're gonna tell you that they believe and know themselves to be somebody different on this side than.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Kelly, and I am the CEO of Speak Truth Media Group. I first met Anne in 2015 when she was speaking on a national stage to leaders from all over the nation. When I met her and heard what she shared, I knew immediately that I needed to have Anne in my life, that I needed to spend time with her, that I needed to pull upon the wisdom and revelation that she was releasing. Since that time, I've spent 12 weeks of coaching with her. I've done challenges with her. I've also spent time in masterminds with her. And I'm telling you today that what she releases reveals just a wisdom and revelation that we have not heard before. it will cause you to have a paradigm shift in the industry that you work in, whether it is business, education, media, arts and entertainment, if it's in the church, or if it's something that you do as an entrepreneur. The things that she will release will cause you to grow in an abundant mindset, an abundance of the outlook. And actually, she releases the tools that you need to bring increase into your life. I would highly recommend that you make the decision to spend some time with Ann McDonald in the very near future, because I can promise you this, like my life, my business, and the ministry that I've been entrusted to, only increase can come. So thanks a lot and blessings upon everything that you do.
So I just wanted to say, actually how awesome Ann and Patrick are. And, so yeah, Ann and I, like she said at the beginning, have been working together for probably, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 years, I don't know. So yeah, you guys are awesome. I love what you're doing. I love how you're helping all these wonderful people. Great.
One more testimony, then we're going to get started. Let me know in the chat what you want to learn about today in monetization.
Like, come on. It's happening. All right. I love you guys so much.
love you so
You too.
All righty, friends, let me go ahead and stop the share. And all righty. I think we're on. Hey, Marilyn, are we on? Good morning. Happy Friday, entrepreneur. Marilyn is on the Zoom with me. Marilyn is one of our mastermind clients. She's built an international ministry, an international business, all while not actually living in the country that she built it in. So if you are on today and you want to learn about how to actually monetize your online lifestyle brand, whether it is an e-com brand, our client Marilyn actually has an e-com brand, as well as a vocational ministry type nonprofit. Marilyn, I'm just giving you a bunch of shouts this morning because you're on live with me. And here's my question for you, whether you're watching us on YouTube, you're watching us on our YouTube channel. Today, my heart is to help you learn the monetization strategies that are going to work for you. Okay, just somebody write in the chat that this is for me. Just write in the chat that this is for you. All right. If we haven't met before, my name's Ann McDonald, and yes, I've got my glasses on today, and I apologize for the glare. But here's what I want to share with you. Have you ever been in a place where you knew that you needed to steward your online business, whether it's information products or e-com, better, so that you actually served more people and monetized with more ease than maybe you've been monetizing before? So would it be okay if I gave you some tips today to learn how to monetize without a whole lot of struggle? Let me know, yes, please, in the chat. If that would be a good idea for you today, I may take my glasses off. Are you good with that, friends? Just because I don't want the glare on the screen. All right. So again, what's today's class about? It's all about monetizing. Just somebody write monetizing in the chat. Monetizing without literally needing a massive team. All right. Who's up for not having a massive team? Cumbersome team that you have to become a manager now instead of an online business person. And without taking 24/7 right? Just to give you a little titch of testimony. Now, I always have to say this, these are my results. So just let me know that you're all good with that. Just say personal responsibility. But just as a small testimony, my husband and I are actually going to be spending a month overseas while our businesses basically run themselves. Does that make sense? Thank you, Lisa. Now we've got Lisa Swanson on, who's also a mastermind member. Lisa is in the emotional wholeness space. What I love about our mastermind members is that they have a broad range of industries and niches that they are involved in. If you'd like more information about our mastermind or any of our upcoming programs, I would be delighted to share that with you after the training today. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Let me know in the chat whether you're watching on our Facebook professional page. So, hey, Facebook crew, it's good to see you. Just say hello to everybody over on Facebook. Let me know where you are watching from. Just put hashtag replay in. Somebody has been asking for this training, and so that's why I'm streaming it on the Facebook page just for you. All right. We're also streaming this over on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet and you are watching us over on YouTube, go ahead and drop in the chat just a little bit of information about yourself. Let us know where you're from, what niche or what idea you're thinking about bringing into the online space. All right, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share. That actually helps us in the algorithm. It helps us so that we can get more content to you without you having to search for it. So go ahead and do us a solid on that. All right. So really the question of the day is, entrepreneur, would you like to learn how to monetize without a cumbersome team or having it take 24/7? If you would like to unpack that today on the masterclass, go ahead and drop a yes, please in the chat. A yes, please in the chat. All right. Now, I have a real question for you. Have you ever tried to monetize your brand and nothing happens? You make an information product, maybe you have maybe a journal or something you want to sell, a physical product, and nobody buys it. Have you ever had that happen? Well, that's basically where I was a couple of years ago. I'm not going to tell you how long ago. It was a long time ago. I've been sharing this message with you a long time because I want you to get a hold and get a hold of this. So I had this bright idea. You ever had an idea for something? And I was like, oh, it can't be that hard. And the truth is, friends, it's not that hard. However, there are some principles of engagement for success to monetize. That's a big statement. Let's go ahead and write that in the chat because that's actually what we're going to unpack today in our 3-step system. There are principles, just write principles of engagement, like how you're engaging with your audience online, Marilyn, how you're engaging with your audience online, Lisa, how you're engaging with your audience that are necessary, thank you, Lisa, that are actually necessary to monetize well, to monetize without a big team, to monetize without needing to be present 24/7. So would it be okay if I shared with you the first principle that we're actually going to cover today, right? Let me know in the chat. All right. Now, how many of you are familiar with retention, getting a hold of new information, right? Thank you, Marilyn. You're familiar with what helps us retain new information. So one of the things that helps you and me retain new information or get that knowledge to a place of subconscious breakthrough is actually to engage. So as I'm covering these 3 steps for you today, I want you to make sure and engage in the chat, right? Go ahead and engage. If I tell you to do something or ask you to do something like snap your fingers, it's not because I'm a Dallas cheerleader. I'm not, right? My last cheerleading was in high school. It's not because I'm just trying to be silly. It's actually to help us get our brain firing in a new way so that we can retain the information. All right. Okay. So the first principle that is a success principle, if you will, for monetization is the concept that you, right? You, Marilyn, you, Lisa, you, our YouTube fam, you, our Facebook fam, have a unique signature fingerprint. You have a unique signature sound, right? So the first thing I want you to write in the chat is you. You. Y-O-U. You. Now, have you ever, when, is it okay if I tell you a story of when I first got started? Okay, I'm going to lean in on this. So hashtag no judgment of Ann. All right. Hashtag no judgment. When I first got started, I was like, oh, I want to go online so I don't have to be seen. Right? I'm like, nobody will know it's me. Am I talking to anybody? Have you ever thought, oh, I'll just do it online so that I don't have to be seen or heard or known? Well, one of the most profound and yet simple breakthroughs that you and I can get, Marilyn, Lisa, our YouTube fam, our Facebook fam, is actually to embrace the real you when it comes to creating your signature sound, right? Now, maybe like, and I thought this was a monetization masterclass. And it is, friend, but I want to posit something to you. Have you ever been in a situation where you walk into a room and somebody's really needy? Do you know what I mean by that? They're really needy. It's that kind of needy energy, and they're kind of following you around. And you're like, I don't know what's wrong here, but you just kind of have like the sniff test. Something's just like not quite right. Well, it's the same thing, right, Lisa? It's the same thing in the online space. One of the things that we have to do if we really want to monetize without a big team and without working 24/7. Okay, remember those two caveats, because we can monetize with a big team and we don't need the step one. Okay, we don't need the U piece. We can just be an investor in a big old cumbersome e-com company and monetize. Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking to you, entrepreneur. I'm bringing a message for you, entrepreneur, who wants to leverage the online space without a big team and without having to work 24/7. Remember, I'm actually headed to Europe for a month in a couple of weeks, and my businesses are running while I'm traveling. All right. I'm not like locked down in an office. I'm literally working from one of our rental properties right now. Like we have a student rental business, and I'm hanging out here while we develop some more rentals. So literally can work from anywhere, don't need a big team. All right. Very cool. Thank you. So we got some YouTube people, YouTube friends watching. So that's a very important piece to this first principle. So I want you to write me, right? Just tap yourself and write me. I'm the first principle. Okay. Thank you, Marilyn. In our 3-step yay system, the first Y actually stands for you. Now, why is this so important, Ann? Because your ability to tap into your signature sound, somebody write signature sound, is the key to not working 24/7 and to not needing a big team. All right. How many of you are familiar with like levels of energy, resonance, quantum fields, all that vibration type stuff, right? How many of you are familiar with it? Just let me know yes in the chat. If you're not familiar with it, it's totally cool. How many of you have ever listened to music, right? Just put a yes in the chat. You're like, oh yeah, I get the music thing. Well, in the same way that music has a resonance, your authenticity, Marilyn, Lisa, has a resonance to how you show up in the online space. So that's one of the primary principles we actually have to get a hold of. So it's like, okay, great, Anne. So step one is me. What do I do about it, right? Like, how do I actually do this thing? Well, would you like to know the first tactic to actually unpacking your signature sound? Would it be okay if I shared with you like a time-tested tactical strategy to come up with your signature sound? Let me know. One, yes. Okay, cool. Lisa. All right. Put a pin in that because we're going to come back to it in just a minute. Just put a pin in it. All right. I want to give you all 3 steps, and then we're going to come back to step 1. And we're actually going to do an exercise to get to your signature system, your signature sound. All right. Okay. All right. Step 1, getting a hold of me. Awesome. Okay, Anne, I got it. Right. What is it? It's you. Right. Because we want to monetize online. E-com brands, information products, and subscription services brands. Now, I built brands in both of those categories, both. And I can tell you, if I want a big team, I don't need the you part. But if I want a small, nimble, quick, easy to handle team, this is the way to go. All right. So let me know if you're up for that. You know, this isn't really what we're covering today. Awesome, Marilyn. It's not for like the angel investor trying to invest in like a big behemoth brand. You know what I'm talking about, right? We get Patrick on. He's traveling today. He knows what I'm talking about, right? We can write a big check and invest in a brand that we're never going to see, we're never going to touch. We're just kind of throwing some cash at it, and somebody else is doing all the work with a great big team. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about you, entrepreneur, how to monetize your online brand, right? Okay. Do you want to know my secret rule? My secret rule is no brand that I'm working on should take more than 10 hours a week to work on. Somebody write 10 hours in the chat. And then once we get it up over 6 figures, we try to dial it down to about 10 hours a month per brand. We've actually successfully done that with several of our brands, including the one that I'm standing in right now, our student rental housing brand. Okay, awesome. All right, what's the second one, Ann? The second step. The second step is that you actually have to take activated action. Okay, there's a difference between action and activated action. Snap your fingers and write activated action in the chat. Just say, I will take activated, for my church folk, anointed action, right? Anointed. You know the difference, Lisa and Marilyn, between someone who's anointed or activated versus someone who is not, right? So we want to take anointed action. I'll just go ahead and use my church language today, my pastor language today. The concept of, well, actually, let me ask you, have you ever seen a brand online and you're like, they kind of have what I want or need, right? Maybe it's a product or a software service and you're like, hey, kind of like that, you know? But for some reason, it just doesn't land with you. Do you know what I'm talking about? Has that ever happened? You're scrolling and you're building your entrepreneurship online, right, Marilyn? You're like, I think I need that, but there's no juice in that, right? There's no, what's that saying? The juice is worth the squeeze. easy peasy, lemon squeezy, or whatever that is. I don't know. Buckle up, buttercup. It basically is like, eh, I mean, it's fine, but it's not really great, right? So think of it this way. Let's say you're planning to go to your, I don't know, high school reunion, your college reunion, maybe 20 years out, 30 years out. In my case, it would be 30 years out. And actually, that's where Patrick is this weekend. He's heading back to a football reunion for the UC Berkeley Cal Bears football players. It's their reunion weekend. You're heading back to your, well, for the ladies. I don't think Patrick spent much time on it, but the ladies, right? We're my ladies in the house. We're going back to a reunion. We want to look good, right? You want to look good. You're like, you going to wear your sweatpants? Probably not. You're going to wear the anointed dress, right? The dress that makes you look really cute, right? Or the jeans that make you look really cute, or whatever it is. You're going to wait to get the right one. Well, the same principle for success applies. When you and I are building to monetize without a big team, I'm going to drive this home today, friends, without a big team and without working 24/7. Right? We actually have to learn to take action that is anointed towards monetization. All right? Monetization. Right? Now, the third step, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to do an exercise to help you get at your signature sound. But first, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Drop in the chat if you've gotten any ahas so far while I take a sip of coffee. Right? Have you gotten any kind of just super simple, short, pithy, as one of my friends and mentors would say? Pithy. Yeah, I don't want a huge team. Lisa, right? You don't want a huge team. You want an efficient, effective, small team. All right. That whole concept of taking anointed action, right? Taking anointed action towards monetization. Thank you, Marilyn, and thank you, Lisa. Okay. So great. So Anne, let's go ahead and start from the top. First, it's you. We actually have to deal with the real you and get at your signature sound so that it cuts like a hot knife through butter. That's really what we want to do in step one. We want to cut through the butter. We want to cut through all the noise online with a hot knife. How are we going to do that? We're going to get at your signature sound so that you don't sound like anybody else. You're not somebody else's recycled message, okay? In marketing language, it's basically you're a new opportunity versus an improvement offer, okay? That's in marketing language if you want to tie it to something. So just go ahead and write step one, you, new opportunity, signature sound, okay? Now, step number two is great. I got my signature system in. Now what? We want to take action. Step two, we want to take action. But here's the key. Here's the key. And any of my church folk are going to know this. You're going to know the reference. It needs to be anointed action. Okay? There are lots of people with access right now to AI who are throwing content like spaghetti at the wall. It is dry, it is computerized, it is boring, and it's going nowhere. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Versus the content that actually is anointed. It's alive, it's activated, it has life in it. Do you know what I'm talking about? So the second step is we want to take action, but it's got to have, I'm going to use a biblical reference. It actually has to have the light of the glory of God in the action so that it pierces the darkness of your niche. Does that make sense? So Guess I'm talking today to a bunch of kingdom folk, right? Or people who understand that concept. So when you take action, you're basically bringing the light that pierces the darkness in your niche so that people, it's like the lights go on for them, and the actions that you're taking actually draw people to the desire to buy your products and services. Okay. Let me know one in the chat or yes, if that makes sense. Lisa and Marilyn, if you're getting it, then I know it's landing. Okay, great. Marilyn, Lisa, thank you. So what's the third step, Anne? All right. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever known what to do and not done it? No. Have you ever known what you should do and not done it? All right. I got some honest, truth-telling people here today. Like, I know what to do to release this little extra 15 pounds here. Am I always doing it? No. I get to the end of the day, I want to sit down with Patrick, have some hors d'oeuvres and a nice glass of nice little red wine. You know, there's just a little part, but still. What I should be doing is taking a walk and doing a meditation instead. Okay. This one gets me. Okay. So the third step is actually yes, now. Okay. Somebody write like, yes, now. So there's a principle on this third step that I want to unpack for you. And this is the success principle. Do you remember back at the beginning of this training, I actually shared with you that the way to monetize is we're going to leverage time-honored, proven success principles, and we're simply going to gird our online brands with those simple success principles. Okay. Concept is we're making it way more complicated than it has to be. All right. So is it okay with you today if I just give you, just kind of do this like release, right? Just kind of dust off, right? We're going to dust off and release everything that doesn't actually work. Would it be okay with you if we stopped doing things that didn't work and we only focused on the things that did? Yeah, release, right? Lisa, it's this release, right? It's funny, we don't want to lose our bad habits. We want to release them. We release them back into the energy field and we say, go be free. Okay. We just release them to God, or I release them to Jesus, right? We just want to release them. Okay. So in that space, what we want to do is, hold on, I'm going to make somebody a co-host. What we want to do when we say yes now is once we have our list of anointed actions, the principle that we want to leverage is this. I want you to write this in the chat. That money loves speed. All right. Money, principle for the third step is that money loves speed. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? What do you mean, Anne? What do you mean? Yes, now money loves speed. What are you talking about? Well, let me illustrate this with a little travel example. Since we're traveling, I have no idea who's at the front door. I'm on a live training right now. So the doorbell just rang, friends. All right. So the whole concept is that money loves speed. So what does that mean? Would you guys hold on for a second? Confirmation bell. Hold on. Just hold on. Nobody go anywhere. Lisa or Marilyn, hold on. I'll be right back. That was funny. I have no idea who that was. I think, Lisa, it was just a confirmation bell. All right. Live training, guys. This is not AI live. This is live. So the whole concept of money loves speed. All right, can we do a quick story on this? So next month in November, the Mister and I are headed overseas. I'm not going to give you all the deets, but we're going to be traveling for about a month. Very special. I turned 60 this year. He turned 60 last year. We're taking a very special trip with 3 generations of family for a long time. It's going to be super cool. Now, can you imagine if I wanted to go on the super cheap to Europe? Let's just say I'm going on the super cheap to Europe. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to save all my money and I'm going to go to Europe by walking. Walking, right? How long would it take me to walk, Lisa, Marilyn? How long would it take me to walk from California to Europe? Even if I could, right? I can't walk on water yet, right? But take a long time, you think? Maybe I could go the back way. I could go the Bering Strait way, like eventually get there. Take my whole life. All right. But it'd be super cheap. Now, let's say I wanted to go a little faster. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get a bicycle, right? I'm going to get a bicycle. Remember, the principle we're unpacking today is money loves speed. Just write money loves speed, right? And we're monetizing. We're learning how to monetize our online presence, Iris, our online presence, Lisa, Marilyn. We're learning how to monetize Caleb in the online space without a big team and without working 24/7, all right? If you want to do it with a team and you want to have a full-time job, we'll do it totally differently. But if you want to learn how to monetize without a big team and without working 24/7, then this is the training for you, entrepreneur. Stay with me. So the yes now principle is illustrating the success principle that money loves speed. And since we're interested in monetizing online, whether it's an e-com brand or an information product brand or a subscription services brand, it's the Orkin guy, I think. Whether it's those kinds of brands, that's what we want to focus on. So if I want to go to Europe, like we're going next month, I could ride a bicycle. Cost me a little more than walking, right? But how long would it take me, Iris? Can you imagine me trying to ride a bicycle from California to Greece? Even if I could ride it over water, right? Take me a long time. Now, if I want to take out some money and pay for a bus, it'd get me there a little faster, wouldn't it? I could take a bus, get me a little faster. But what did we do? We took out that lovely credit card and we were like, first class, baby, get me on that jet. Okay. Get me on that jet. So the fact that the time inverse relation, just like when we travel, it's the same truth. It's the same success principle that applies to our online businesses. The faster you can go yes now for what you're bringing to the market, and the faster you can get the result to your client when they come to you, the more money you're going to make, right? The more money you're going to make. Let me say it again. Money loves speed. All right, and let's cover this again, because if you don't get this, friend, remember that little procrastination friend? Remember that little thing that kind of gets stuck in the back of our head? It's time to implement something. And you're like, la, 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 la. Think I'll do the dishes. Think I'll do the laundry. Oh, my closet needs to be cleaned out. So what do? We avoid doing the anointed action for our online brand so that we can monetize. Can I tell you truth? It's not the tactics. We got all the tactics. We got all the tactics. I got the checklist. I got the tactics. The key to actually monetizing in the online space is understanding and leveraging the principles of what actually works. Okay. So what are those 3 principles that we're covering today? The 3 steps of this program. We're going to unpack the first one today, right? And then for those of you who are on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, if you want to join us for a training where we're actually going to walk you through in an implementation workshop, we have a single day training next week, and we'll make sure and drop the link in for you. You can actually register and come to that. Right now, I've got Iris and Lisa and Marilyn. They're 3 of our mastermind clients, and they've already got access to it. So here's what we're going to do. What are the principles, Anne? Remember, what's our goal, entrepreneur? We want to monetize our online brand, whether it's a lifestyle brand, which is typically what I build, meaning in the lifestyle space, you know, health, wealth, relationship type stuff, lifestyle stuff. Or it's an e-com brand, right? You're selling or affiliating certain products. Any of you have an LKT page? Any of you have an Amazon store? Any of you have like a little lifestyle channel on YouTube? How are you monetizing? Are you only getting money in from like affiliate sales, right? We know statistically, most lifestyle brands don't actually monetize very well. And that's what I want to give you today. I want to give you the principles behind it so that you can learn how to monetize and you can come to an implementation day with us. I've actually done this for over 14 brands, everything from meditations to holiday decor to real estate, which I'm standing in right now. And it's simple. Well, let me ask you, would you like it to be easier than it has been? Yes. Would you like it to take a little less time than it has been taking you? Yes. So the 3 steps. Principle number 1 is you have a signature sound. We need to get at the real you, Marilyn, the real you, Lisa, the real you, Iris. Now, that doesn't mean we're splashed all over the internet, but it does mean that we have to get at the authentic resonance, the authentic sound that you carry, right? Then we put that into a system. We're going to do an exercise in just a minute to help you. The second one is that we need to take anointed action, right? We've all seen it before. You go to a church or you go to a concert or a conference and it's just like that Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. It doesn't go anywhere. Well, in the same way, there are systems and strategies to take your signature sound and actually create it in such a way that the anointing has a place to land, Iris, so that it actually pulls people towards you. Like we talked about, the light of the glory of God. It's actually an attractive light. The scripture puts it like this, Lisa, Marilyn, and Iris, and Caleb, who are watching, Patrick, who's watching. The scripture puts it like this, that you are designed to be a city on a hill, right? And right now, some of y'all may not have your brands be like cities on a hill. Does that make sense? So that's the second step. The principle is the anointing, right? The anointing is what causes the conversion, right? If something is true in one realm, it's also true in another, right? Any of you who've been around the faith space or the spiritual space, you understand that concept, okay? So we want to make sure and leverage that so that you don't have to work 24/7. Also, so that you don't need a massive team. Keeps things really simple. Okay. But if we don't get at your signature sound, we don't have any place for the anointing to land. Does that make sense? All right. The third piece is actually the yes now piece, which leverages the part about how money, because remember today's training is on monetization, how money actually loves speed. Okay. Without speed, we're just literally slogging through. Okay. Can I tell you what this looked like in my life before I had the breakthrough? Would it be okay if I shared a story with you of how this manifested in my life? So in 2008, awesome. Thank you, Lisa. So in 2008, I had an idea for an information product. And I was slogging through my interior design and decorating business, and I was tired. Have you ever been tired at your job? That was me. I was tired. I wasn't making that much money. It was taking me away from home a lot. I mean, I had high profile clients. I had big fancy projects. I was tired. And I took this class on how to make an online course. And I was like, yeah, yay. And friend, it took me not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 4 years. It took me 5 years. 5 years. Somebody asked me once, why are you so passionate about teaching this stuff? I'm like, because I was locked for 5 years. I was locked up for 5 years. It was like I couldn't get my voice out. I couldn't figure, I was just locked up. So that's one of the reasons today, I don't have to be doing this, but I'm like passionate about making sure that the unlocking that I got, that I want to give it to you so that you don't spend 5 years. How about we spend 5 hours instead? Let's go from 5 years to 5 hours and get the breakthrough swiftly. What causes the breakthrough swiftly is when we leverage the principles, right? We leverage the principles that actually move us swiftly. We leverage those principles for success. The Bible talks about it this way. In Jeremiah 6:16, God literally says, ask me for the ancient paths. Ask me. And then it's like, and nobody asked me. Ask me. You're like, nobody asked me. Nobody's asking. So I want to give you the keys to unlock the swiftness of it. All right. As long as we're referencing some Bible talk today, how many of you remember the story of Philip and the chariot? Y'all know the story of Philip and the chariot, Philip with the eunuch and the chariot on the road. So there's this story, if you don't know, in the Bible where Philip, he had been with Jesus, and Jesus has died and resurrected again. And I think he's already gone back to be with the Father. And Philip is talking with this person who's saying, basically, explain this to me. He runs to the chariot and he talks to this guy. And then in an instant, snap your fingers, friends, instant, Philip is boom, translated to a different space. Well, that'll blow your mind. Right? I'd be like, what? I thought walking on water was big. Ancient paths, friends. How God does one thing is how he does everything. So that third principle of yes, now on anointed action actually gives God the ability to swiftly bring your increase. Does that make sense? Make sense? But if we don't take yes, now action on that anointing from that signature sound, Jill, if we don't take that, then we don't have any place for it to land, right? And so what I want to do today, Iris, Patrick, Caleb, Lisa, Marilyn, and Jill. Those are our mastermind peeps who are watching. Or if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, what I want to give to you today is the fast track, if you will, the principles for monetization for your entrepreneurial online brand. Whether it's an e-com brand, like my holiday decor brand is an e-com. We have a little bit of e-com associated with our real estate. Whether it's an info product brand, maybe you're selling information products, maybe you're selling coaching, consulting, and mentoring, right? Maybe you're doing a subscription services brand, kind of like our templates or our meditation stuff. It's like they pay monthly. Okay. So whatever it is that you're doing, I want to give you quick principles for success to actually leverage your monetization. All right. Does that make sense? So what are the 3 main steps? And then if you want to, we can actually go through an exercise to get a hold of the tactics on the first step. So let me know if you want me to stay on and do that. I don't have to stay on. It's Friday. You guys want to go hang out, do something else, we can. Or if you want to hang on, we can do this exercise again. This is one of my favorite exercises if you want to do it. All right. So what are the 3 steps again? You. Exercise. Yeah, all right, Jill. You, Jill, you, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, Caleb, Patrick, you have a signature sound. Never before seen or heard in all of the realms. Think about that. God literally created you. Step 1. Thank you, Iris, to get a hold of your signature sound. Okay. And we want to get a hold of it, not like esoterically, not woo-wooey. We're going to dial it down in just a minute. I think I'll go ahead and do the exercise with you. We're going to dial it down in just a minute to make it super practical. Is it okay if we make it super practical, like as practical as this sip of coffee that I'm going to take right now? So hold on while I take a sip of coffee. All right. Great. And now we got our signature sound. I got my signature system. I got my signature way of doing stuff. It's all good. Now what? Like, I don't have any money, honey. Like, where is it? Okay. The second step. Thank you, Lisa. We want to take anointed action. All right. Somebody on my team just said, Mason. Hi, Mason. Whoever you are, Mason Malone on the YouTube channel. It's nice to see you. Welcome. We want to take anointed action. Okay. What can we take action? Yeah. But have you ever been to like a really boring sermon? You're like, you fall asleep. You're like, no, I remember it. You're like, I don't even, which church did I go to tonight? Right. Which I don't even remember what Bible study we went to, right? It's boring. So right now, you actually, yeah, Iris, you know what I'm talking about, right? So you actually have this beautiful anointing that when we leverage that in the form of action, it actually catalyzes something in the realms, and the multiplication piece of monetization comes easily. Okay. We're actually, if are y'all familiar with the concept of everything is energy? Okay. When you're not in your signature sound and you're trying to be something you're not, and you're just taking action because that's what somebody told you to do, and you're kind of lazy about it, do you think that's going to monetize very well? No. It's going to be like, well, it's boring, doesn't have an opinion, meh. Okay, meh. Contrast that with you. You're like, I made peace with myself. I am 5'4" on a good hair day. If I can get it like Texas style, right? I'm not from Texas, but I'm like, I'm 5'4" on a good day. I'm about to be 60 years old. I am not 22. I am not 102, right? And I am not 5'9". I am 5'4". I'm not going to tell you how much I weigh, and I'm about to be 60. So I'm just going to settle in to me, right? So just write, settle into me. Do you know that the scientists and fancy quantum people who do these energy scales, they actually have discovered that authenticity resonates at a higher frequency, get a hold of this, friends, than love. Think about that for a minute. Authenticity resonates at a higher frequency than love. Do you know how the Bible puts it? You're going to know this scripture as soon as I say it. God is spirit and is looking for worshipers, Iris, who worship him in spirit and in truth. Right? The only thing God can deal in is truth. When we don't tell the truth to God, when we aren't truthful about our authenticity, then God's got nothing to work with because God cannot lie. All right? Get a hold of that, friend. Taking anointed action from a place of authentic truth. Right? Be okay with it. Be okay with who you are, where you are, what you got. I'm going to tell you a quick story on this to illustrate this point. I shared this the other day in one of our trainings. It's been heavy on my heart lately because there's all this. Have you all seen all the AI stuff where people can make themselves look younger, thinner, richer, more, well, I don't know, whatever, right? Rounder, whatever their gig is, you know, but it's not real. Look, I'm down with these tools. I love these tools. I leverage the tools, but the tools are only as good as the data in, as the authenticity in, right? You ever heard that phrase, garbage in, garbage out? Garbage in, garbage out. We're in the process of creating a bunch of bots for some of our brands and websites. And literally, the gentleman I'm working with said, garbage in, garbage out. I'm like, all right, team, let's get as authentic as we can, right? So the same applies to you, Jill, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris. Is getting comfortable taking anointed action from your actual signature sound, right? I was like, okay, Anne, this is awesome. I've got my signature system. I got my signature sound. I'm good with that for like the next 90 days. I got something I can work with. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take anointed action. I'm like, I got a clear direction from God. I got a clear direction in my ideas, my imagination, my downloads. You know, I've done a little research. I'm like, okay, I've checked, you know, like Answer the Public and Similar Web. I've got an idea where people actually want to buy something in this niche. It's all good. I'm ready to go. And now what? Then your friend calls, Jill. She's like, hey, we got an extra prayer meeting this week. It's not a big deal. It's just going to take all night on Thursday night because we're doing the prayer watch. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Iris, right? Or, you know, somebody else calls and they're like, hey, we need to focus on this family thing. It's only going to take you 3 days. Okay. So, no big deal. You got plenty of time, right, friend? You just work from home. Okay. You do know it. Yes, you do know, Iris, right? So here's the thing. Money loves speed. There's a corollary to this principle that disruption follows intention. Write that in the chat. Disruption follows intention. Disruption follows intention. Okay. Why does disruption follow intention? What do you mean by that, Ann? Well, you ever bought a new house and you get everything done and you move in and the sewer backs up? Check. That happened to us. About this lovely new, well, not new, but beautiful piece of property. We're in for like a month. And then the entire downstairs floods. Not with like water. Or like disruption follows intention. Why, Ann? Well, in universe language, the universe is just testing to see what you're made of, Lisa. It's testing to see what you're made of. It's testing to see where your values are, Iris. It's kind of resonating off the soundboard of the authentic, anointed you, Jill. It's resonating off that soundboard, Marilyn. It's resonating off that soundboard, Mason, Caleb, Patrick, to see what you got, right? In God's language, he's like, yay, see what you can steward. Give yourselves a round of applause. You've just gotten the upgrade, Jill. Right? Yay! Praise silences the foe and the avenger. Right? I think it's either Psalm 8:2 or Psalm 2:8. Somebody drop that in the chat. Praise silences the foe and the avenger. Right? So it's that, right? Oh boy, what a way to upgrade, right? But it's true. The reason we have to actually take yes, now, swift action is because if we don't take swift action and understand that money loves speed, those disruptions become mountains instead of molehills. Does that make sense? If I am riding my bike to Europe, every hill is going to be a big deal, right? But if I'm on an airplane at 30,000 feet, do I even notice those mountains, Jill? I don't even know. They're like, oh, look at those cute things. Look at that cute little disruption, right? It's no big deal. So the faster you're able to move with the end goal in sight, the less that disruption is going to impress you. Does that make sense? That's why we have this third principle. Yes, now. Now you put that all together. Yay! It's Y-A-Y. It's not YMCA today. It's yay. So put your hands up. Give me a yay. Yay. Just let's walk through this, right, Iris? Right, Lisa? Yay. I'm gonna be the real me. Just tap yourself. I'm gonna be the real me. Right? God gave the message to you. He put the crown on your head, Jill. He put the crown on your head, Marilyn, on your head, Lisa, on your head, Iris, on your head, Caleb, on your head, Mason, on your head, Patrick. He put the crown on you. All right. The second thing is the anointing for that crown is yours. So we're going to take anointed action, stuff that actually brings the breakthrough to people. We're not going to be boring. We're not going to put people to sleep. We're actually going to take anointed action in the direction that they have asked for. Right? Anointed action. And then in that anointed action, are we going to plan for that action for like 3.5 years, Lisa? No. Yes, now. And as soon as we commit to that, yes, we put it on that calendar and our friend calls and the sewer backs up and I don't know what else happens. The dog gets diarrhea. What else? What else? You get a gray hair. I don't know. Just be like, cute. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm on the right track, right? The Jeep breaks, the fridge breaks. Hallelujah. We jokingly say it like this. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. It's no big. It's because you got a big call in your life. It literally is because that signature sound that you carry, Jill. That signature sound that you carry, Marilyn, for nations, Lisa, Iris, Caleb, Mason, Patrick, that signature sound, Lori, that signature sound that you carry, it's worth it. And the disruption pieces are just the weightlifting. Just the weightlifting. Okay. All right. So how do we monetize? We're going to get into the structure in just a sec, but I want to take a couple of takeaways from this. Before we go into step one, the tactics of the first why in the method. We have time to do that. If you want more, if you want to hop on one of our implementation days, I will drop the link. We got a Clarity to Cash implementation day coming up next week. Okay. I'm going to be hosting it for any of my mastermind peeps, Jill, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, anybody else who's already in the program. I'm going to be hosting that for them. But if you want to hop in, we'll have a link that you can buy it and hop in for us for a single day. We want to make it accessible for you. Okay. Let's take a couple of takeaways just from this morning. Anybody have a takeaway? You can write it in the chat. You can unmute. Jill, go for it.
Well, I came in a little bit late, but the last part of taking action now, even like in the middle of disruptions. Yeah, just that doesn't matter. Like no big deal. Take the action now.
I love that. Can we give it up for Jill? Just write that in the chat. Take the action now. In the middle of disruptions. Come on. Awesome. Who else has a takeaway? Lisa, go for it.
I love the yay. The yay is so encouraging. I just now got it. It's like, oh, yay. Me, you, anointed action. Yes. Yes, now. So I agree with Jill on the disruption part because life is life. And it's just going to continue to be life. So let's just work through the disruptions instead of letting the disruptions work through us and get in the way. So I needed to hear that today. Thank you.
Come on, let's give it up for Lisa. You need any emotional wholeness in your life, make sure you're following Lisa Swanson. If you need family business help in your life, make sure you're following Jill Dinko. All right. It's like, this is the thing. All right, Marilyn, did you have a takeaway? Come on, Marilyn.
Disruptions? Oh my gosh. They happen all the time when I just try to do anything at all. I mean, and it actually is very comical. When I go to Haiti all the time, whenever I start packing, there is massive disruptions. Whenever we have orders that we're sending out in the States, as soon as I'm supposed to get the stuff together, there's massive disruptions. So it's just one of those things that I can prepare for packing 3 days in advance, and then it starts 3 days in advance. So I still go to Haiti. I still do the things that I'm supposed to do, even though it keeps on trying to stop me. So I get that.
Let's give it up for Marilyn. Come on. If you're interested in learning more about what Marilyn does, make sure to follow Marilyn. She's built an international ministry. Marilyn, is it okay if I just share your tagline that international impact, and that Port-au-Prince would be the port of the prince? That's Marilyn Monaghan. That's her heart for the nations and her heart for ministry and empowering people. So yeah, disruption. It's no big deal. Just right. It's no big deal. It's so predictable, right? Now, this may not be the best example, but I'm going to give it to you before we step in. If anybody else wants to do a takeaway, Iris, Patrick, we can't take takeaways from our YouTube and Facebook crew because I don't have access to bring you on camera right now. But just go ahead and write your takeaways in the chat. We got Caleb, we got Lori, we got Mason. Nice to meet you guys, Mason and Lori. So let us know in the chat. Iris, go for it.
Hi, I have one. Just the authenticity part. that it is more impactful than even just love, because I had heard something about being nice and being kind. Friend, there's totally different. So just showing up as we are, imperfect, and people can connect more to imperfect than perfection. So thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome. Can we give it up for Iris? Iris with her fresh meditations. You need daily encouragement. You're a mama with littles or teens. Make sure you're following Iris. So, yeah, it's that whole process, friends. It's no big deal. It's like that predictable thing. It's like that predictable speed bump in your neighborhood. Sometimes you forget about. You're kind of in a hurry, and you're like, whoop. Right? It's no big deal. So, all right. Well, would you guys like to run through one of my favorite exercises? It's actually an exercise. Jill will recognize this. That is literally the first step for anybody who comes into my programs. Are you guys up for this? Should we do this? I got time. Patrick's out of town today, so I'm just hanging out with my half decaf coffee and my snoring pugs. So, all right. So this exercise, I want you to get out a fresh piece of paper. Get out a fresh piece of paper. This is designed for anybody who's just joining us right now. This is designed for entrepreneurs. You want to actually monetize, and you want to have a grasp on what your signature sound, your signature fingerprint is going to be as you monetize your online brands. Okay. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat. Team finish if that makes sense to you. Because if it makes sense to you, then I know I've been clear and we can actually move on. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Lisa. Awesome. Yeah. Mastermind members, you will absolutely have the replay. All right. And bookmark your calendars, Mastermind members, for next Thursday, the 24th, because I'm actually going to run you through what's called the Clarity to Cash Implementation Day. It's a whole training. We did it once before, but I literally was praying about it. I'm like, God, how can I help our current existing members? And it was like, redo Clarity to Cash. It's going to start, Lisa, at 7:30 Pacific on Thursday. I think it's the 25th, Thursday, October 25th. Clarity to Cash. The whole thing will be recorded for all my mastermind peeps. And if you want to join us, we'll go ahead and drop the link in the socials, the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page after this live. Does that make sense? It's a very accessible price point. Just to give you some context, our consulting that Patrick does individually, I do individually, or we do together is $35,000 a month. So it's not that. Okay. This is a single day that's going to have a very accessible price point. And it's Thursday is the 24th. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Thursday, October 24th. Cool. Thank you. Dates, whatever. It's next week, Thursday. All right. So here's the exercise that no matter what brand I'm building, hold on. I'm actually going to walk you through this. So I have this little book. I got it at the dollar store. It's got some butterflies on it. I think Lisa and Marilyn, you guys might have the same binders, right? Because they came to an onsite with us. And in this binder are a whole bunch of my brands. Okay. Before I even start, when I'm trying to get a hold of my signature sound, just say my signature sound. My signature sound. I go through this exercise, right? If anybody's having trouble in their business, I'm like, go back to this exercise. Just go back to it. Go back to it. All right. So what I'm going to do is, with your permission, I'm going to go to the whiteboard on Zoom. Okay. Hopefully I will still be able to see you. All right. I can't see you. So my mastermind fam is going to have to keep me posted in the chat. Cool? Give me a 1 in the chat if you'll keep me posted. All right. So what does this look like? So this exercise is the goal is to get at the real you, your signature system or sound for your online brand, whichever one you're working on. All right. That's the goal. Let me know yes in the chat if that makes sense. Give me a yes in the chat from somebody in the mastermind. Okay, awesome. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Jill. So that's the goal, right? Why are we doing this? Because you need your signature system to stand out in the crowd, right? You actually are designed by God to be a light, a city on a hill, okay? Somebody write in the chat that this is your city on the hill. These are the lights for you as the city on a hill, okay? That's actually a reference to a scripture, a Bible verse that talks about that you were designed to be a light, that you were designed to be seen and heard. Okay. Now, how many of you have ever struggled with being seen and heard? Has anybody ever struggled with that? Because I used to struggle with that a lot. Okay. What this exercise is going to do is to help protect you. Right. So somebody say, protect me. This exercise is going to help protect you so that you are no longer, I'm going to go back to the camera for a second. You are no longer somebody's quote savior, but your system, your signature system is going to be their solution. Okay, so if you have something in front of you, I want you to pick it up. A pencil, a cup, glasses, whatever, pick it up because I want you to understand this before we go into this exercise. Okay, so awesome. We got Jill, we got Marilyn. Everybody's got something they're holding. What this exercise for you, Jill, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, Mason, Caleb, Patrick, this exercise is going to protect you. Okay, especially online, because now what we're going to create is going to be external to you. It's going to be a system. Okay, just write system in the chat. Signature system. This system will become your signature course. It will become your signature sound. It will become your signature message. It will become your signature. Okay. This thing is going to protect you. All right. So that's the context. So the first thing we want to do, this is a monetization class, right? This is a monetization masterclass. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw 4 quadrants. We're going to draw some lines just like this. Now, many of you may have done this exercise before. I do this exercise constantly. Do we have any musicians in the house? Any musicians in the house? How many times do you have to practice or keep your fingers or your voice or your instrument warmed up in order for it to do its best work, right? Well, in the same way, in order for your signature you, your signature system, your signature sound, your signature course to perform at its best and monetize really well, we want to get well practiced in continually refining this exercise. Okay, so just let me know 1 in the chat, yes, if you're getting what I'm dropping, right? Just write, I'm getting it. Okay. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to decide the monetization level or number per month. Okay. Actually, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it per month. Let's do it per month. We can do it per product or we can do it per month. I'm going to do it per month. No, let's do it per product, per sale. Let's do it per sale. Keep it easy. All right. So let me give you an example. Let's say I have a $997 product that I want to sell, right? How many of you have like $1,000 online information product or an online subscription or an e-com product that is $1,000? Okay. Whatever your item that you're going to be monetizing is. Maybe you're advertising on one of your lifestyle brands, your sites. We have standalone media sites and people pay us money to advertise on those sites. Okay. So I want you to think in terms of and write down the price for the product that you want to focus on. Maybe it's 5K, maybe it's 10K. Okay. I'll just change this to 1K so it's easier. 1K. Okay. Doesn't matter what it is. We're just going to do the exercise. Okay. I would encourage you to not do it less than $1,000. Okay. Let me know yes in the chat when you've got that. Just my mastermind peeps. Iris, Jill, Marilyn. Okay, Jill, we got it. All right. The next thing we're going to do is I want you to think about this for a minute. I want you to describe your ideal client for this product that you sell, where you only get paid after they get results. You know, what do I mean by that? So let's just go ahead and I'll use an example from one of my products that we're actually going to be doing next week. So I am going to choose the $1,000 product. If you haven't guessed yet, you might take a wild guess. Depending on when you're watching it, it might be more expensive if you're watching a later replay. But the $1,000 price point is the price point of a product that we actually have. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about who is the person. Love my little gorgeous person here, right? Happy, smiley face, right? I'll put some stars as eyes. Let's see what we got. We'll put little hearts. They're happy, right? They're happy. Okay. It doesn't look creepy at all, right? So what we want to do is we want to write out, what do they like? What kind of person do you want, Jill? What kind of person do you want, Marilyn, who buys your product, but they only pay you? You only get your money, Marilyn. You only get your money, Lisa, after they get results. Okay. So what kind of person do you want? Right? For me, I want a happy person. I want a happy entrepreneur. Right? So I work with entrepreneurs typically. I want them to be fast action takers. I want them to be self-responsible, meaning they don't blame others. It's not somebody else's fault. They take responsibility. They take action, right? One of the things I like is I like people to be on time. I like them to be on time. What else? Typically, this may sound kind of silly, but I like them to have pets. Why? Because people who have pets or kids are usually flexible, right? They're used to taking care of other things and other people. You got a pet, you know how to clean up after a pet. You got kids, you know how to clean up around kids, right? Does that make sense? All right, so let me know. Let's take a minute and write the attributes, the essence of who this person is for you. Who do you want to work with? Because remember, Iris, they're only going to pay you after you get them results. Think about that. Make a list. That's quadrant number 2. Okay. And when you've got some of those attributes, why don't you let me know them in the chat? I'm going to stop the share. Let's just take a couple of takeaways as we're doing this exercise. This exercise is the foundation stone. Jill, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, Mason, Caleb, Lori. Got other anonymous viewers. Hi, anonymous viewers on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome. So this is the foundation stone. Okay, ever seen a Disney movie? This is where the sword is locked, right? This, you got to get the sword out of this stone. Okay. So what have you got? Is anybody willing to share what they've got for the first two quadrants? Jill, go for it.
I have Phuket, and then my person is, like I started to write, big picture person who's a fast decision maker, action oriented leader that's happy, fun, kind, they're risk taker, and that they love dogs and nature and their family.
Come on, let's give it up for Jill. Right? Like, who doesn't think that would be a good person to work with? Right? They're happy, they're fun. Awesome. Does anybody else want to share? Remembering that the more that we engage with the content, the more our subconscious, as one of my mentors calls it, our mammalian brain actually gets a hold of the information, the new learning. Does that make sense? It's the repetition. It's when you can play the piano. And I recently have taken my piano skills back up. I had to take my fingernails off so that I could really actually play. But you begin to be able to play with your eyes closed because you just know it so well. Does that make sense? That's really what I'm looking for here, entrepreneur. All right. All right. So let's, Lisa, go for it.
Okay, so my nurse, well, I'm doing the 5K. That's my monetization piece. And my nurse is happy, optimistic, self-aware, ready for more, self-responsible, uh, fast action taker. They like to have fun and are adventurous. And I think most importantly, they have compassion for themselves because they already have it for others. So they need to have that compassion for themselves.
Come on. Give it up for Lisa. Two things Lisa said that we might all want to put on our list, which doesn't surprise me because she's emotional wholeness, is aware, self-aware, and the compassionate piece. You know, compassion in the spirit realm actually drives the miracles. It's compassion that actually is like a highway. I don't know who that's for, but if you're in search of a miracle in the spirit realm, compassion, no matter who the person is, actually is the highway for a miracle. Okay. So what Lisa said was compassion for yourself. So that'll bring the miracle to you, friend. That'll bring the miracle to you, Iris, Marilyn, Jill, Lisa, Ann, Patrick, whoever else is watching, Caleb, Mason, Lori, anonymous. It'll bring the miracle to you, but it'll also bring the miracle to your client base, right? And then Jill, you said something about risk taking. That's actually a really important one as well. So as you're listening to people, if something sparks you're like, oh, I want that one too, put that on your list, okay? Risk takers are action takers. Risk takers tend to not be grumpy, right? Because risk takers are so focused on the risk that they're taking that they're usually happy. All right. So we have the first two quadrants. The first two quadrants are the price point of your offer, the price point of the thing you're going to sell. If you're in subscription services, so we have like a $1,000 a year program and they can pay $97 a month. So I just put like 1K on that, right? You put 5K, 10K, 25K, whatever product that you want to consider monetizing right now, entrepreneur, that's the one I want you to focus on. All right, let's go back to the screen. So the first quadrant was, what's the price point of the product? Right? The monetization level or number per sale. Like right now, I'm going to use a 1K example. Then we're going to describe the ideal client for that product that you sell, where you only get paid after they get results, right? Now, this is where the you comes in. Okay. All right. What we want to do here in this quadrant, listen in and lean in. This is what protects you. Somebody write, this is what protects me in the chat. This little quadrant down here is the thing that's going to separate you and make it easy online. All right. Somebody write easy, protect. This is where the jam, the jelly, the peanut butter, whatever you want to call it, this is where the sauce is. Okay. This quadrant right here. So basically, what we're going to do is we are going to come up with the 3 or 4 simple steps that this happy person is going to go through here at the starting line to get the result they're going to pay you for. Okay. What do I mean by that? All right. Let's take my little 1K product. My 1K product, I want a happy entrepreneur. I want them to be a fast action taker. I want them to be super self-responsible. I want them to be on time and flexible, right? Because we're training them how to actually monetize. Like I said, if you want more information, we'll drop it in the chat. It's literally called Clarity to Cash Implementation Day. It's like how to monetize your signature sound, your signature course, your signature product, right? So what we want to do is we want to take this person at the starting line of where they are. And we want to figure out, we want to ask ourselves the question. This is important. Tap yourself and say, I'm going to ask myself the question. Self, right? Jill's going to ask Jill. Marilyn's going to ask Marilyn. Lisa's going to ask Lisa. Iris is going to ask Iris. Caleb's going to ask Caleb, right? Mason, you're going to ask Mason. Lori, you're going to ask Lori. Anonymous, you're going to ask Anonymous. You're going to ask yourself. Okay. Why? Because this is your signature sound. How you do stuff. There are a lot of people who don't take this seriously. And as someone who has coached now since 2018, I can tell you that if we don't take this piece seriously, everything else is kind of wobbly as we build it, because we don't actually have anything that we can say, hey, this is the system I created, and this is your solution, right? I am not your savior. This is the system, and we're going to create the system right now. Okay. Let me know cool in the chat, or all good, or I'm getting it in the chat if we're good, mastermind fam. Right? Okay. Very cool. Thank you, Jill. So basically, we want to dial this down to a couple of steps. No more than 4, friend, please. No more than 4. If you got more than 4, we need to dial it back a bit. So I want you to think about this person. They're happy, Lisa, they're ready. They're who you want them to be. And you have a unique take on something. And you're going to provide them with a result at the end. So for me, one of the products that we offer is, it's literally called Clarity to Cash. It's implementation day. And it's designed to get you your signature course done in a day. That's it. Now, let me ask you a question. That's the result that we're doing. That's the result. So I set the result out at the end that I want. When they're done with this product, they're going to have a course, a signature course that they can point to. Does that make sense? A signature course that they're going to point to, Iris. They're going to be like, what'd you do? Somebody's going to ask them, Iris, what'd you do? And it's like, oh, well, I created my signature course. Here it is. They can either see it or they can't see it, right? Is this making sense? This is the whole game, friends. Just write, this is the chessboard. This is the checkers board. This is the risk game. This is Monopoly. This is the whole enchilada. This is the whole shebang. This is the kaboom. This is it. This is it. If people aren't successful in the online space, I know they haven't done this. Okay. So first question I have is, what's a concrete result that you can help them achieve in a course or an offer or a product that they can point to when they're done and say, hey, he did it, right? Iris, could they have their own meditations and you could tell them how to practice it, their own daily affirmations, right? They come in, they don't have it, they come out and they're like, oh, Iris taught me how to do these meditations every day as a busy mama, right? Who also works full time, right? Lisa, do they have an emotional wholeness checklist that they can refer back to and they know how to use it, right? Jill, do they have a family transition plan, right? Just a single page checklist that they can refer back to and say, hey, I've got these 3 things that I know how to have a conversation. I know how to exit a room when it gets tough or when it's not the right time. And I know how to be kind to myself. Okay. Marilyn, do they have a checklist or something they can point to say, hey, these are the top 3 things to avoid, right? And why, or the top 3 things to do and why, when you are an international leader or ministry builder or business builder, or when you're running an e-com brand in a nation you don't even live in, right? Does everybody understand that? We want to have something concrete. Give me a yes in the chat if you're understanding it. Give me a yes in the chat. And is anybody willing to unmute and say it back to me so that I can hear your take on it? Because that's actually part of the beauty. It's actually part of the beauty. Jill, go for it.
So we want to have our system and use that to put out our signature course offering, you know, whatever we're selling at that point or we're putting out there. And we need to have something that solves one thing for them that is concrete that they can see and take and use.
100%. Let's give it up for Jill. Does anybody else want to take a crack at this? I've got time, ladies. Like I said, my husband's traveling. I got Friday. I got my cute dress on. I'm here. I'm having fun. And I want to help you with this. Like I literally want you to monetize. That's my heart. I want to help you bring your message to whoever you're mandated to reach, right? Whether it's 2 people, 5 people, 200 people, 2,000 people, 2 million people. Whoever you're called to reach, I want to help you get a hold of this, right? If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, tag a friend, right? We're live, like mom, we're live here, you know, just hanging out on a Friday. Lisa, did you want to unpack it for us?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Me in that third box as our U signature system, it's a result. So we're having our person from the starting line, our person who is happy, ready, flexible, compassionate, self-aware. So they're at that starting line, but then they have a result because they know, because I'm clear on what my message is for emotional wholeness. So my result can be top 3 things to do when you're an emotionally whole nurse.
Correct. And you could put that, Lisa, into a concrete checklist. So if their friend who's thinking about taking the class is like, what'd you get? What'd you do? And your nurse can say, I should probably not use a messy piece of paper, right? Let me make a pretty here. I got this emotional wholeness thing that we worked through, and it is super cool. It fits in my purse. I can take it anywhere. I can access it online, and it's the top 3 things to do to remain in emotional wholeness. Does that
Gotcha.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. So dialing it down to the 3 steps.
3 or 4, right? 3 or 4.
Right?
No
this-
more than 4. Yeah.
Right, and this could just be the taste to bring them into, one-on-one coaching or group coaching or however, but just getting that in, just in process and having it available, maybe in a PDF or like you said, maybe a little book, that would be cool.
You got it. You got it. Can we give it up for Lisa and Jill?
I think we overcomplicate things. At least for me, it's like, why are you overthinking again? Oh, it's just that simple, when you dial it down to the 3 steps. But I like that we're going through this again because it hits me every time.
I love it. I love it. That's why I do it constantly, right? I do it for myself. It's all good. This is part of the process. This is like you sing, Lisa, you play an instrument. It's not like you just play the song once and then you're done, right? You keep your fingers warmed up. You keep your vocal cords warmed up. It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Love that. Let's give it up for Lisa. All right. Who else wants to take a crack at articulating it? Marilyn, go for it.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I was just thinking about, as far as the results go, is that you need to have a few steps that you outline, or that you have a checklist, or that somehow it's communicated and they can take it back with them and go, this is like the yay thing, Y-A-Y, okay? And so like, for instance, for me, I mean, I look at the big picture, then I look at chunks, and then I look at where to start, and that's very simple, but that's basically what I do over and over and over again, whether I'm overseas or here. So that would be something that they could visually see. Okay, it's not that complicated. Look, what's the big thing? And the thing is lots of people, they just want to start somewhere, but they're not starting in the right place. So if you go big, medium, small, it's easier. So that's what I have to say about that.
I love that. Can we give it up for Marilyn? This is it. This is a whole gig. This is a whole gig. All right, so let's go back to the board, because what are we on today? We're on monetization, right? We want to get to that place of monetizing our online brands, whether they're information product brands, subscription services brands, lifestyle brands. This works for the influencer marketplace. First time I realized that, I got paid in a set of pots and pans. Somebody literally sent me a fancy pan, like it was $1,000 set of pots and pans, like way back, like in 2013. And I was like, just for simply mentioning them on a blog post. Like, I was like, there's a whole world out here I know nothing about, but I'm about to learn. Okay. So actually, no, it was earlier than that. So it's that whole concept of just being like, whoa, there are so many different ways to monetize your online brand, no matter what type of brand it is, whether you're in the coaching and consulting space, you're in the building space, the leadership training space, the lifestyle influencer space. It's like so simple. All right. So let's go back to the screen. And we're going to talk about the monetization piece. So let's do a quick review. So the first thing we're going to do in this exercise, remember, what's the goal? The goal is to really get at who you are, the real you. This is the first why in our YAY method. We want to get at the real you, the real Marilyn, the real Jill, the real Lori, the real Anonymous, right? The real Caleb, the real Mason, the real Iris, the real Lisa, the real you, right? Why? Because that's where the anointing comes through. Now, this exercise, we're basically creating your system so that you do not become the savior to anybody, right? We don't need another savior. We got one, right? So instead of being a martyr or someone who is, constantly available without any boundaries, we're actually going to create a system so that it encapsulates the essence, but it's very easy to transact. Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense. Just say system, right? System, easy to transact in the chat. That's what we're looking at. Okay. And once we've got that, and it's got the real us in it, right? Then we can actually determine, hey, I want to monetize this thing, right? Go ahead and, if you're on this Zoom room, go ahead and write the price point that you are working with. I know we've got some at 1K, some at 2K, some at 5K, right? Okay, so we got 5K from Lisa, 2K from Jill, 1K from Marilyn, and I'm using my 1K example today because I actually want to show you what it's like. And like I said, if you are interested, if it's the right fit for you, you're an entrepreneur and you want to actually dial this in on a deeper level, we have a 1-day clarity to cash implementation day where it's basically designed. Well, let me ask you, would you like to have your signature course of action, your signature system completely dialed in a single day? Yes. So yes or yes, right? Like finally stop the delay. Well, that's what we're going to be doing in our upcoming workshop. So if you haven't joined yet, you can take a look at the link below. We would love to have you in this. All right. I'm going to be hosting this for our mastermind clients, and we'd like to invite you in the room for a day. All right. All right. So what do we've got? We've got our price point. Let me know in the chat. Iris, Marilyn, Jill, Lisa, do you have your ideal client person, right? You have the happy entrepreneur. Go ahead and rewrite that. Just rewrite it in the chat so you get yourself kind of remembering who it is. Just go ahead and write it in the chat, right? Describe them. Let's give us a couple of detail points, right? With some really good ones. Happy, risk-taking, aware, joyful, easygoing, self-responsible, flexible. They have kids, they have pets, they're good with life, right? They're good people. They're healthy, whole people. Pardon me, right? They're healthy, whole people. All right. Next, in the third box, we're still coming up with this signature system. So we just came up with the result. What do we want the result to be? All right. Now the question is, Jill, question is Iris. Marilyn already shared hers with us. What are the 3 or 4 steps that they have to take to get the result? All right. Maryland's are, well, first they have to get a hold of the big picture. Then they go into chunks. And then they go to the small action step. Right? Those are Maryland's. So take a minute and ask yourself the question. What are my 3 or 4 steps to help as Iris, your happy Hispanic mom who's a fun, fast decision maker? She's a healthy, whole woman. She loves her family and she wants peace in her home, right? What are the 3 or 4 steps that you're going to take her through to get her that result? That's the next thing we need to focus on for this box right here. All right. So like I said, Marilyn already has it. Don't overthink it. An example you can use from mine is the yay method, right? Yay, it's you, right? We take anointed action. Oops. And then we actually go, yes, now. We don't delay, right? We actually, because money loves speed, right? I have other frameworks. It's called Safety, Order, and Beauty. I have a framework for one of my holiday decor brands. It's called Happy. It's got more than 3 steps, but I've been at this a while. Okay. So Marilyn, analyze, prioritize, implement. Come on, let's give it up for Marilyn. That's good. That's good, Marilyn. All right. Pause, look, act, pause. I love that, Jill. Pause, look, and act. I love that. Let's give it up for Jill. All right. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to stop the share for a sec. Marilyn and Jill, can you actually just say yours out loud, and anybody else who wants to say theirs out loud, so that we practice our system, our signature system. Jill, why don't you go, and then we'll go to Marilyn, and then anybody else after Marilyn.
Pause, look, and act.
Come on.
Okay, analyze, prioritize, and implement.
Come on. Let's give it up for Marilyn. Okay, can I ask you ladies a question, and gentlemen, if you're watching? Pretty powerful, right? Does it kind of take the stress out a little bit? You're like, oh, what's your signature system, Jill? Oh, super easy. It's 3 steps. It's pause, look, and act. It's my proprietary method for family businesses in transition. Right? Just kind of shake it out, right? It's that simple. Right? You got it, Jill. All right, let's give it up for Jill. She's got to step away for a minute. Right? Marilyn, think about it. What's your proprietary method, Marilyn? It's analyze, prioritize, and then implement. Right? Pretty cool. Right? Lisa, do you want to say yours out loud, or are you with a patient?
Mine is assess, truth, and freedom.
Come on. Let's give it up for Lisa. Proprietary method, system, signature sound, signature course for emotional wholeness. We're going to assess, we're going to get at the truth, and we're going to walk and live in freedom. Come on. Right? Iris, do you want to take a shot at it? Just write it in the chat. All right, so the next and final step here. Well, first, can we give yourselves a round of applause for like hanging with me on a Friday? Like, come on. Let's monetize some brands today. I love this stuff. Right? Entrepreneur, this is for you. This is for you to help you monetize so that you're going to reach the people you're called to reach with your mandated message. Right? Whether you're a coach, a consultant, a lifestyle influencer, you've got an e-com online brand like our holiday decor brand and parts of our real estate brand, or if you're just in the information product space, right? That's how I got started with Decorate Like a Pro system. It was an 8-module info product that I released in 2013. I sold it for $495 online. Come on. Okay. If I can do this, you can do it. Like, I literally flunked out of college. I flunked out of UC Berkeley. I had to go back because I met a guy who I eventually married, but I met a guy and I like to have fun. So it's not like you don't have to be like a NASA rocket scientist for this. Is that cool? We just have to be available, right? I'm available, God. If you're seeing this, you likely at some point said in your prayers, "Here I am, God, send me." Anybody ever said that? Here I am, God. Usually through tears, you know, those moments where like, I'm available, Lord. Okay. So you asked, God answered. So let's get to it. All right. The next and final one is the monetization corner. So what we want to do here is we want to determine basically how many people, actually, I'm gonna make an adjustment on this. How many sales we need to make to hit our monthly revenue goals. Okay. How many sales do we need to make to hit our monthly revenue goals? All right. So is it okay if I give you an example from this 1K product? Can I just let me know yes in the chat? Yes on our YouTube channel. So if you may have seen this exercise before, if you've been anywhere around the online space or a derivation of it. The original exercise was done way back in the day by a gentleman named Frank Kern. And Frank Kern calls it the freedom multiplier exercise. So what I've done is I've basically taken his and I've modified it for my own monetization structure. Is that fair? So just write modified for monetization. Okay. Why and how are you doing that, Ann? Well, I actually, when we build out online brands, and if you come to the Clarity to Cash implementation day, you'll learn about this. We actually monetize 3 different ways. We monetize this way with client-facing products and services. We monetize with JV partnerships and affiliates. It's the second way we monetize. And the third way we monetize is we get paid by advertisers, right? Advertisers who like what we're doing in the online space and want to be associated, and they pay us, okay? So we're going to unpack all that on our Clarity to Cash implementation day. If you want to hop in, we'll make sure that the link is below this video. All right. So here's my question for you. Iris, Lisa, Marilyn, Caleb, Lori, Anonymous on our YouTube. Hi. Tag a friend, share it with a friend who needs to be encouraged by this. How many sales do you want to make per month of this specific product? Right? So for me, I like to make about 10. It's not a lot. I like to make about 10 sales per month. Why is that? Because for me, that 10K covers our software as service costs, right? We have a bunch of costs. Let's give us plus a little room, okay? So my question for you is, how many sales do you want to make per month to hit your revenue goals? Let me know in the chat. Okay. All right, what have we got? 1. Let's give it up for Marilyn. 1. I love it, Marilyn. Go for it. I think we can do that. I think we can get you there. Or we can provide the vehicle to help you get there. Or more. I love it. All right. So can I just share a key thing for the monetization piece? One of the keys that most people who are in the entrepreneurial space, now this is not you because you're not most people. You're actually here, you're watching, you're learning, you're participating. But most people in the entrepreneurial space don't steward the basics. They don't steward the basics. And what we're doing here is we're making it very easy for the sales and the monetization to actually come into our vortex. Because we're simply eliminating everything that is unnecessary. Does that make sense? So 10 sales. Come on, Lisa. That'd be cool, right? Let's give it up for Lisa. Iris wants to make 5. Come on. All right. Now, here's the thing. On Thursday, for our mastermind, Iris, Lisa, Marilyn, Jill, anybody else who's already in our mastermind program, next week, I'm going to be hosting a Clarity to Cash implementation day to just remind them how we do this, recover some of the basics, and get them, get the basic skill set in place so that you can monetize, right? And what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to invite you to that day, right? Normally, our consulting costs is $35,000 a month. What? Yes. $35,000 a month with a 3-month minimum. Okay. Our mastermind programs are anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000. Okay. So what we've done is we've made this day accessible and available to you so that you can get the raw skill sets necessary to monetize your online information product or subscription services or lifestyle or e-com brand. I'm just going to give you some really foundational principles and basics. The end goal is super simple. Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, Jill, any of our other mastermind members are going to finish the day with their signature course completed. Done. So Marilyn's beautiful system, Analyze, Prioritize, Implement, is going to be in a form that she can then provide in the online space and sell. Right? Lisa's signature system of Assess, Truth, Freedom. By the end of the day, she'll have all of the tools necessary to have that thing finished, right? Now, will these things be perfect, Iris? No, right? Because we're just going to be our authentic selves. And as we learned earlier today, authenticity resonates higher than love. If you need the scriptural backup for that, it's that God is looking for worshipers who worship in spirit and in truth, right? So God can work with our truth in the same way. Our future clients, the people we're called to reach, Iris, they can work with our truth, right? What they can't work with is a lie or a facade, right? I shared with you earlier, I'm 5'4" on a good Texas hair day, right? I don't live in Texas. I'm not from Texas, but I've seen that Texas hair. I'm never going to be 5'9". Maybe in heaven, I'll be way taller. But for right now in this earth realm, I'm about 5'4" on a good day, right? I'm about to turn 60. I'm in the lifestyle space. That's what I do, right? I'm not a 22-year-old, 102-pound, 5'9" influencer. That's not who I am. But if you're in that place, entrepreneur, where you're actually ready to monetize as you, just say, as me, and be totally cool with it. Be totally cool with who you really are. Then the anointing that God designed you to carry, that mandated message, Marilyn, that he gave to you to get to the people that you're called to, like you, Lisa, like Iris, like the rest of us, then we got something to work with, right? Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm focused on helping you with. All right, let's take a couple of core takeaways and then we'll wrap. Core takeaways. Any takeaways? Has this been fun? Yay! Leave Ann alone, give her some coffee, and this is what she does. Comes on to train. Marilyn, go for it. Let's just talk.
I've been mulling over for a while that stewarding the basics, stewarding what you're already doing, stewarding where you're going, that stewarding thing. And we all know that I've been kind of confused as to which way I'm going, but I've discovered that the things that I have stewarded work. Okay, and so I steward something that was nothing and it became something down in Haiti. I've stewarded many things in the past that were not international or anything like that. And one of the things that I've been trying to figure out is like, well, okay, my 2-horse thing. But I've discovered that since I've gotten some of these tools and everything else, even though I haven't been able to develop my own personal brand the way I want, they've been applied to what I have been storing because I've got to keep storing that, and it has helped. And so the storing the basics, whether you're online, offline, or whatever you're doing in life, whatever you stored, it's going to make a difference. So I just like that stewarding thing.
Come on. Word from Marilyn. I know, right, Lisa? Lisa just wrote in the chat, you steward well, my friend, and such wisdom. It's true. Thank you, Marilyn, for sharing that. I love that. And any other takeaways? We got Lisa and Ira still on the Zoom room. I think they might both be at work. So here, isn't that a powerful testimony? Like literally we can be at work. This is something that we can execute and work on and steward with our actual real lives, right? Our real lives. All right, friend, let's wrap this up. So today I came on, and the goal of this class today was basically to unpack, how do you monetize, right? How do you monetize? You're an entrepreneur and you have an online business and you want to monetize that online business or online brand without these 2 things. You don't want a big team. Somebody say hallelujah. And you don't want to work all the time. Okay. 2 very important delineators. There are lots of entrepreneurs who want to work all the time. They want to build a big team, right? They want the big organization with the big building, right? But I'm not 22. I'm not trying to take on the world. I'm pushing 60 and I want to have a whole lot of lifestyle freedom. Okay. And in that space, that's where this method shows up for you. Okay. I'm going to be traveling for the month in just a couple of weeks because of this model, right? Now, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, you want the big team, you want the big fancy corporate thing, there are lots of amazing people you can learn from. I am probably not your jam, right? Take us with you. Lisa, that's one of the goals. All right. One of the goals is to figure out how we can have international masterminds in different places. All right. We're doing deep research. We're going to be in Greece, a couple other places. Pretty cool. Right. So if that's what you want that lifestyle freedom, and you still want to reach the people that God has called you to reach with your mandated message, right? In whatever space you're in, e-com, influencer, information products and services, subscription services, template brands, coaching, consulting, mentoring, whatever that is, friend, I want to help you monetize without a big team and without having it take 24/7, right? So if you want to join us, we'll drop the link in the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. We'll send it out via our email. We'll make sure and hop on the email list so you start getting those emails from us. And Marilyn, absolutely. Let me share the screen again so that you guys can take a screenshot. And then I'm going to bless you guys out on this fine Friday. So Marilyn, let me know in the chat when you got it. And I'm going to pull up a blessing for you. All right, we got it. And we are good. We're going to stop the share for a second. All right. So this is something we do with some of the groups that I lead. So I love the Lord. I just do. And so there's this thing called the blessing. Are you familiar with the blessing? Now, why am I sharing the blessing on a monetization masterclass? There's this verse in the Bible, Proverbs 10:22. Look it up. And it says, the blessing, it makes rich. He adds no toil, no sorrow to it. So as we are unpacking you becoming a prosperous, powerful, effective, joyful, happy, easy to engage online brand, online presence, we want to remember that it's not toil, it's not spoil, it's not misery, it's not hustle, it's not grind that's going to make you prosperous the way that we're bringing it, right? If you want hustle, you can go to all the gurus, you can go to all the hustle guys. I love them, but they're not my jam, right? I prefer to let the blessing do the work. So what I'd like to do is to just read this over you and bless you out today, this Friday. All right. So here's the blessing. This is actually from the Bible in the book of Numbers. It's so cool. So the Lord is talking to Moses, you know, the guy who helped the Israelites get out of Egypt. He's talking to Moses. And he says, tell Aaron, Aaron's like his head honcho guy, right? His partner, if you will. And his sons. So tell Aaron and his crew, this is how you're to bless the Israelites. This is how you're to bless them. So that's what I want to do for you today. So say to them. So I'm going to say this to Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, Caleb, Lori, Anonymous. I'm going to say this to whoever's out there watching. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face, his countenance to shine upon you, Marilyn, Lisa, Iris, and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace, shalom, nothing missing and nothing broken. So today, friends, be blessed, receive the blessing. Remember that the message that you have mandated inside of you by God himself, it's actually time to bring it in this season for the reason that you were designed. All right. We love you. I look forward to seeing you in one of our upcoming classes. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. I'm going to play some testimonies as we head out.
This is my testimony for Kingdom Mastermind in McDonald. I knew that I was going to get something big. I knew I needed breakthrough. I knew I needed to get past a stuck period that I had been wrestling with for actually years. 3, 4, 5 years, just stuck at one spot. And I knew that I needed help. I needed help from someone who had succeeded past me. Someone who carried authority, someone who carried the heart of God with authenticity, love, and ultimately joy. When I joined, I got far more than I bargained for. And I must say that within the span of only about 3 weeks, did I get the massive breakthrough that I needed. The place where I was stuck, I was grieving a season that didn't exist anymore, a season that I wanted back. I was grieving and I didn't know how to get past it. Ann McDonald got me past it. And now I am walking in authority and boldness, going after exactly what it is that God has equipped me uniquely for in this season to release. That I am not an echo, I'm a voice, and a voice that's meant to be heard. And so are you. Bless yourself, enrich yourself, invest in your call, in who God says you are. Join us.
Dustin, what?
So I just sold 3 more programs.
That's so awesome.
She's founded several creative enterprises, including the luxury design company, creative consulting company, the eSport film production, and several info product companies. Other enterprises in various stages of development include the Lilly Institute, an online institute for leaders, Design Daily, podcasts, Forward Shape, and more. Anne's graduated from UC Berkeley. She has designed the life she wants to live, and I asked her to give you the essence of her genius in this session. So will you please welcome Anne McDonald.
Hi everybody, my name is Pamela Pertiller, and I took Anne and Patrick McDonald's Clarity to Cash Masterclass. And I have to tell you, I am very, very glad that I did, because it was because of their masterclass that I'm now able to publish my first ever digital course. Had it not been for them, I would not be doing this. And I just want to tell you a few things of what I have observed about Anne and Patrick during the class. Number one, they deliver way more than what they promise, and so that was really very refreshing to me. Number two, Anne and Patrick always encourages their clients, and not just 1 or 2 people. They encourage everybody, and they make sure everyone is seen and heard. Number three, I feel like I got my money's worth because I'm able to publish my first course. So I feel like I got my money's worth. And one thing that I really love about Anne and Patrick is they're very authentic in their delivery. They just are just very kind and loving, and they don't discriminate. So then another thing that I notice about Anne and Patrick is that the instructions that they give are well planned out, and they don't quit until they are sure that everyone understands what it is they're trying to teach. And so being a retired teacher, that was really priceless for me, because I know that's how I operated in the classroom. But they just keep going and keep going, and they will answer every question. They never tell you that a question is dumb or stupid, and that's because I had a lot of what I thought were dumb questions, but they never made me feel like they were dumb questions. They answered every question with integrity and with grace and with ease. And so I would take it again if I had to. So I just recommend them highly.
And this class has just busted open my alabaster box after 11 years of having it right here. It's broke open and I'm bursting forth. And I just can't thank you both enough. For reals, God bless you both.
Thank you. That was really good, Anne. You're amazing.
Hi, my name is Stacy Woodford. I've been an online entrepreneur for over 15 years, and I just want to say what a huge impact Anne has had in my life. She is an incredible mentor. She is a wealth of knowledge. She's just so generous in her time. She's compassionate and kind and just full of wisdom, and I feel so honored and grateful to be mentored by her. Thanks, Anne.
Hey, my name is Shauna, and I'm going to give you a little insight on what it's like to work with Anne and Patrick McDonald in the Info to Income Challenge. Now, if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur like I am, you've probably been through a lot of 5-day challenges, or if not, probably seen them on your newsfeed, right? Well, this 5-day challenge was different. Anne and Patrick create such a powerful breakthrough, and I found it really, really empowering to see that they were doing this together, so a husband and wife, and it was so beautiful, and they really complemented each other and delivered an authentic breakthrough in a simple and enjoyable way. So if you're looking to build your business, I cannot recommend the Info to Income Challenge highly enough. If you're looking for a concise way to do it that you're going to enjoy, you can't spend a week of your time any better way. Highly recommend.
Anne and Patrick are very intentional. Everything is done with you in mind.
Any woman who's wanting to explore the idea of entrepreneurship, if they come to a conference like this, they're going to save so much time, money, effort. Everything that is involved in starting a business will be set out and laid out.
Being able to be with Anne and just being able to have 3 days set apart where I can just soak it in and learn and be with other like-minded women who also have the same desire to have a business and to have those 6 figures that Anne talks about.
I have been to so many conferences, and never in all of my life have I received the breakthrough that I've received here. It's absolutely, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, extremely unique.
You get to see the authenticity. You don't get to just hear about other wins, but they also let you know, hey, where we missed the mark. And so like we made these missteps so you don't have to.
If you're ready for excellence, if you're ready for understanding the simplicity behind excellence, if you're ready really to get to that next level, not just in theory, but practicality, then this would be the place to go.
Watching it in action is where you learn.
I'm Iris, and this conference was off the chart. It was amazing. Just being able to hear different perspectives from different powerful people who are willing to come in and just pour out into us was well worth the money. Yes, this is just the beginning. It's going to be so much bigger. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Patrick, for pouring into us and loving us. And your yes helps us with our yes. Thank you.
Thank you both. This has been a really, really wonderful day. I love the small group. I love the interaction. Like, this has been very, very helpful.
I think the clarity is just the big thing for me, because I've gone round and round with that. And I think all of the training is fantastic. I just think that all the stuff you're giving is just amazing.
I have pages and pages of notes today, like so excited. Like, I know that I can do this and I'm gonna love doing it so much. And I would love to replace my 9 to 5 with something that I'm this passionate about. I just like putting myself in the room with people that know how to do it, that have done it successfully, and that can give me the proper encouragement. And I'm happy to do a testimonial declaring that whenever you would.
Info to Income with Anne and Patrick is absolutely amazing. It was worth every second that I spent on the calls. It was worth every penny. All right, thank you for everything you do, Anne and Patrick. I just feel a soul connection with you all, and just grateful for you utilizing you to show us how to utilize us to be the content. So blessings, thank you.
Hi there, my name is Judy Kaler, and I would love to share with you the breakthrough that I got from the Info to Income Challenge with Anne and Patrick McDonald. And it's very simple, but it has been so profound to me. Major breakthrough for me. So I encourage you to take the Info to Income Challenge with Anne and Patrick McDonald. It is well worth your time.
More than helpful, more than even everything that Anne had said before. And I'm sure the knowledge that you shared with us is probably just the tip of the iceberg of what you carry, but the wealth of what you shared was just absolutely amazing. And
if you want to go to the next level, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur and take your business to the next level, there are tools and keys here. Patrick and Anne McDonald carry a breaker anointing where it helps carry you into the next level.
You're in with a group of people that are supportive, transparent, honorable, just a really great learning environment.
Anne is just such a wealth of knowledge, and I've already learned so much.
It has changed my life. I'll never be the same after this.
My name is Teresa. When I wanted to build an online course, I enrolled with Anne and Patrick in their finisher course. I'm immensely thankful that I did that because the support has been incredible. Their leadership has been absolutely essential. The way that they take you through all the steps, and they don't teach you anything that they haven't done before. And what's equally valuable is the community that they've created of individuals that are doing the same that you are doing. And that's another level of support that's invaluable. I would highly recommend subscribing to the Finisher course if you are thinking of creating an online course. The fact that we don't live on the same continents don't matter at all because the online space has no borders.